A topic that I found interesting this week was the topic of universal design for learning, and how it also connected with the topic of differentiated instruction. So it was interesting to learn about universal design for learning and how it supports the learning of all students, so it's equitable for every student no matter what their background is or what their prior knowledge is, because students are being kind of met where they are to expand on their knowledge. And that's where I think that differentiated instruction connects to this, because that's instruction that's tailored to the needs and strengths of students, and it's specific to the classroom and the students in a classroom. It's not a one-size-fits-all scenario, and I think that differentiated instruction is a good way to support the learning of all students. And I have a couple personal connections with this. So one connection that I made was in my practicum groups. We broke up into smaller groups, and you can tell that they are based on current ability. So each group is working on expanding different abilities. So where I may be working on a more simple activity for a phonics lesson, someone else may be incorporating writing into the lesson because that's where those students need to be. And I work in the group that is still working on their skills. They're not quite as developed as other students. So they would technically be probably the lower group. But my mentor teacher doesn't use that term, and I think that that's good because that can lead to negative expectations of students. If you put them in the low group and they know that they're in the low group, they're not going to feel capable of reaching their goals because they're not gaining support from their teachers. And then another connection I made was in seminar. We learned about group reading levels. So I remember back to my elementary school, we had reading levels, and it was very clear what reading level you were in. When we did group reading with the teacher back at the kidney-shaped table, they would say, Group 3, come back. Group 2, come back. Group 1. And everyone in the classroom knew what the groups meant. And I think that this can have a very negative effect on students, because it's going to make them feel incapable, and they could develop a sense of learned helplessness if they are being told that they are less than their peers and they are not being set up to achieve greater things. And I think that connects with the negative expectations as well. Connecting the expectations to UDL. So, supporting the learning of all students gives positive expectations of students, and you're not expecting a student to come into your classroom and be a troublemaker or disturb their peers or not do their work. I think that teachers need to develop their own opinion of their students and not expect less of students based on what they've heard. And I also think it's important that educators still expect big things from students who seem to be in the lower level. Just because they're behind doesn't mean that they don't deserve to be pushed and challenged, because students learn well through challenge. And if you continue giving them work that is too easy for them, and you're not meeting them where they are now, they're not going to be able to expand on their knowledge.